What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul,
and Div.
bringing you the latest on the Celebrity Big Brother finale, which just aired tonight. And wow, okay, so this was the first Celebrity Big Brother US season, and what did you think about everything as a whole, Dave?
Okay, there's a couple of things I really enjoyed. All right, first off, I like that the show is so much more fast-paced. A couple evictions a week is great, as opposed to having to wait every week, especially when a week is predictable. And the biggest thing I prefer is no showmances. And everyone is, in my opinion, at least with this cast, was mostly more mature, mostly wanted to play the game. And because I would assume that they're famous and richer, it was more, they were more willing to kind of take risks per se. It wasn't like, hey, I need this money desperately. Not too much anyway.
Right, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, they were less
Like they just wanted the victory.
and they were also less like there was less personal attacks, basically.
Yeah, there was more of
Usual.
like camaraderie and sportsmanship with it. Like not too many people took too many things too personal. Again, like this is comparing it to standard seasons of the show.
Right, and especially Big Brother 19, which was
Oh my god.
very intense with personal attacks and that stuff. So it was nice to see a nice, honest season. Although they also voted for the person they thought played the most honest game, which I thought was a little bizarre, at least to me as a Big Brother fan. But that's just the way it is.
I think it was bizarre to the winner too, who had to justify it.
Welcome, Chris.
I'm sorry, not the winner, but
welcome, Chris. We are live. What are your thoughts on the finale, Chris, as a whole?
I was very, very satisfied with the winner. I wasn't satisfied with the final. I wasn't satisfied. Okay, whatever, Dave. I wasn't satisfied with who the final two were, but I really wanted Mark to make it to the final two just to see if he really would have lost between any of the three. But I don't know. I when they were doing their speeches, I don't know about you guys, but I thought their speeches were awful.
I thought Ross's were good. I thought Marissa's were not good at all.
Yeah, I was like, girl, what are you saying?
I completely agree with what Paul said, and then on top of that, like
as usual,
you also do have the fact that Ross did get to prepare, and Marissa really just didn't expect to even be there. So
how do you not expect to be there?
I know. I don't know why she didn't expect to be there. It's pretty stupid. Like you should always prepare for victory.
You should, but I didn't expect her to be there honestly either.
All right.
Where to win.
If you guys are in the chat, feel free to say hi or say anything, and we will read it out loud. Got any questions, our thoughts on the finale, or your thoughts on the season as a whole, or on the finale, on the winner, on the America's Favorite Player?
You want to bitch about the winner?
You want to bitch about America's Favorite Player? Because how?
Yeah, we all know that, like, in every season, if you make the final two, you don't apply for you can't be considered as America's Favorite Player because you already won money. So I was confused why they did it this season. It didn't make any sense to me.
Not true.
You're not exempt. Most people just don't do it.
What do you mean? I thought Paul.
No, Paul could have won America's Favorite Player if people voted.
Absolutely, anybody could win America's.
No,
Favorite
I remember in an interview that they did with Paul. Paul said that he was loved by America, but because he was in the final two, he couldn't be in the America's Favorite Player poll or whatever.
It's because he was still in the poll. It's just that people don't vote for the people that are in the final three because they have a great shot of winning a lot more money. Anyway, back to the
exactly. Exactly.
You can say but they're there to vote for if you want to vote for them.
Yeah, right? Everyone's on the list.
All right, so back to the episode. So we're going into an endurance competition. It's final five. Omarosa just came out of being the outgoing HOH during a double eviction where she backdoored James, got him evicted.
And that was right after getting Brandy evicted on the same night. So there's your recap of the other Friday night that we didn't get to.
Right. So, everyone's really looking to win this HOH. So, they all have their diary room sessions. They're like, okay, I have to win this. I have to secure my spot. Because they're all worried that, they're going to be the next ones evicted. Omarosa wants Ari to win because Ari and Omarosa kind of made like a little bond. a little before this episode. So Omarosa is hoping for Ari to win and for Ari to probably take out, I guess, Ross or Marissa.
And we should probably also know that Omarosa is rooting for Ari to win the entire show should she lose at this point.
Right. I mean, I kind of was too, to be honest.
I wasn't.
Well, that's you, and I'm me. So back to the show. So Marissa falls very early on. It's not that surprising. She's not that physically fit, so it makes sense. Then Ari falls. She has a hard time because her hands got sweaty really quickly. So her hands probably slipped off. Bad fall. And then it's between Mark and Ross. And Mark did something that I thought was a little confusing. And I know that Mark's a really, really good guy, so I kind of understand like his perspective. But why did he throw the HOH? Thoughts?
He didn't need to win it. I mean, my opinion was that it was just going on. They just wanted to end, and he didn't actually need to win it because he truly was safe. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that everyone knew that the target wasn't used, so.
Right. I mean, Omarosa was definitely the target, but winning challenges is a great way to boast about. It's a great way. It's a great thing to boast about when you're in the final too. So if Mark won that HOH, you could have said, "Listen, I won the HOH, or what at most mattered."
That's not true, though. That's not true because Marissa didn't only won one HOH, and that was at the very end. So yeah, Ross won way more HOHs. No, because this is arguing of what you guys are saying. You're saying like being HOH is a good thing. That's absolutely not true at all. In fact,
it is, but
it's not. No, it's not. When you're a lot of people that make the final two that win a lot of HOHs over the other person, they lose because you're getting more unnecessary blood in your hands. So of course, throwing HOHs is fine. Look at Daryl Levasseur in season 16. He only won like what 2 or 3 HOHs, but he
won 4 HOHs.
4 HOHs, whatever. Like you're going to be specific about it. He only won 4 HOHs.
You're making the point.
I am making the point. You only win HOHs when you need to win it. Like you don't just win HOH just because you want to have it on your resume because it's never good. Like Cody won more HOHs than Derek, and
no, he didn't.
Okay, well, he won more competitions, but you get what I'm saying is winning HOHs is not like a good thing to put on your resume when you get to the final two. And Ross losing over Marissa is proof of that.
It really depends on It really depends on the season, I feel, and how you handle the HOH. Like I feel if Ross had been more honest, maybe during Ross's HOH, if he was honest with Shannon about him wanting to get her out, and then him not going through with that, and leaving it for the next HOH because of the whole Keisha thing, I thought maybe that could have been. Maybe Shannon could have voted for Ross at the end. I mean, it's really how you handle your HOHs that really make it like that, and
exactly
how you are as a person.
There's also times where people are like, "You didn't win anything. You don't deserve this." I mean, Marissa clearly didn't win anything, but Marissa had less blood on her hands.
Exactly, but that's because she didn't win HOH. That you're proving my point. Yeah, it is. He didn't win HOH, so that's it.
That's just what Paul said because Ross didn't handle them truthfully.
Yeah, but okay.
Anyway, let's just continue on.
Yes, I know Derek didn't handle them truthfully either in Big Brother 16. Okay, back to the episode. So Mark does throw the HOH to Ross, and Ross wins. Omarosa, of course, is expecting to go on the block, and that's basically what she does. Ross has this little moment with Marissa where he's like saying, we saying like, okay, I literally write down little fat gay kids from the country. He says that there was no one on TV when he was younger that represented him as a, I guess, little fat gay kid in the country, and he's happy to be representing that. I don't know. Okay. I thought that good for him.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Good for him. It doesn't cool.
Yeah,
I guess I support it. Whatever.
Yeah, why not? And so Omarosa goes on the block, and then Ross has a conversation with Ari, basically saying, "Listen, I promised Mark not to put him up, so I have to put you up next to Omarosa. But we're going to protect you and try to win veto and all that stuff to get Omarosa out." And so Ari and Omarosa are the two people on the block, with Omarosa as the target. Then we jump into the veto competition. It was, I believe, 8 questions. You had to like climb up, put the correct day the action happened on. So they had like the one with like dressing up as the baby with James and Ari, and that was like day 6, I think. So they all did this. They all did the competition individually, and whoever got the most right and in the best time. So first it's whoever got the most right, and then if there's a tie, they do it the best time. So the 2 players that got the best time were Ross and Marissa. Surprise, surprise, they're the ones that study the most in the house and know the game the most. So they probably been studying the days of everything. I believe Mark got 6. Ari got 4. Omarosa got 1. Sorry, Omarosa. So what were you guys thinking during that veto competition? Did you want Omarosa to win? Did you want Mark to win? Did you want Ari to win?
I mean, at this point, I was rooting for. Honestly, I'm just gonna say I was rooting for Ross's HOH plan, like not his HOH, his final 2 plan with him and Mark. So I just wanted. At this point, I was like, Omarosa should just go. I mean, if she wins the veto, cool. But that's what I wanted to see happen.
Especially with the whole Final Four, I was a little weirdied about the Final Four, how it worked, where just one person wins and takes out 2 people. I thought that it's like, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but I thought that was just kind of weird, like overall, just because it's a lot of blood in your hands and it's a lot more fast paced. So I guess getting out Omarosa before that was actually a good idea, because if she won that, she probably could have won the entire game.
Yeah, most likely.
I want to make the point that I think the reason why it was evict 2 people from the Final Four is because Omarosa was a last-minute pick from production. It was originally supposed to be a 10-person cast, so they didn't change the game at all, except for making it a Final Four with the final HOH instead of a Final 3. I think that was the only change that they had.
That is 100%. That is 100% what happened, because whenever Julie Chen went on an interview with Colbert, she even said that Omarosa was a last-minute casting decision. She said, like, quote unquote, just get an extra bed, and that they're gonna have to adjust the show a little bit. Also worth noting is that whenever the cast did get announced, they had the 10 videos and they didn't have Omarosa's video ready to go yet.
Okay, so Ross.
That is true.
Ross won the veto, and Ross does not use the veto. And then we have the vote to evict. They say they're all there jazz. They say, "Oh, thank you. I love you so much." Ari and Omarosa greatly respect each other. And Ari didn't want to throw Omarosa under the bus or anything. Didn't want to campaign. Not that kind of player. Omarosa didn't really campaign either, at least at the time.
Neither of them really needed to campaign anyway, because the result was already sealed.
Right. So, and then Omarosa was evicted 2-0. And then Julie Chen tried to bait Omarosa into more political questions. Are we going to be okay? And Omarosa says, yeah, we're going to be okay. Just remember that there's more than 2 parties out there. Be you at home. Life's more than right and left. Remember that, guys. All right, so
anarchy.
Okay. All right, so let's jump into the Final Four HOH competition. Winner of this gets to decide who gets to evict 2 people. Now, who do you guys wishing to win this?
Mark or Ross?
Yeah, not Ross, but for me, just Mark.
I wanted Ari to win. But then Ari would have taken Ross, so I don't know. So I guess it was really no winning. But then Ari would have won, so... Yeah, I guess I wanted Ari.
Ari would have definitely won.
Sweet.
I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted either Ross or Mark to win, because it was like the smart decision, especially on Ross's part, because Ross already said he knew that his best chance of winning was against Mark. And Mark knew his best chance of winning was against Ross as well, so maybe.
Yeah.
I question that a little bit with Mark and Ross, because I know Shannon would have voted for Mark in particular, but that's what I want to see happen. I was kind of rooting for Mark, I guess, a little bit more, but like I said, the outcome would have been the same if either one of those 2 won, but it didn't happen.
Chris, why do you feel the way you did about who you wanted to win?
I thought it was kind of close between when they had to guess how many seconds the competition was. Like, that itself changed the entire ending of the game, just because it was just really close. It was very, very close to the very end, and I wanted Ross or Mark to make the final 2, but it was just Ross, and I didn't want Ross to win over Marissa. So
yeah, I thought during the challenge, Marissa was in the lead for every single question except for the last one. It was 5-4-4-4. She got every question right up to that point. And then question 6 comes along. And also the challenge, by the way, was very, very fun. I very much enjoyed the challenge, but I feel like most of the questions were easy. It was only the last one that was really hard, that really stumped me, and I still don't really know what the answer was.
That was I was, as per usual, playing along at home for those type of challenges, which is what they're designed for. And same thing, that last question threw me off.
I thought the last question wasn't that hard. Wait, what was it again? What was the last question?
I honestly don't remember.
It was basically, who placed what, and basically everyone just said, oh, you did this in a competition. Oh, well, they did that in a competition. Well, at least I'm not this person who did that in a competition. It was basically all competition questions on like where
basically, and you had to figure out which one tweeted the wrong fact.
No, I know what the competition is, Dave. I'm just saying what the last question was.
I don't remember. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, Marissa got this one wrong, and Mark and Ross got it right. So it was between Ross, Mark, and Marissa, and they asked how many seconds the snow challenge went, and it was only like 683 seconds. That means it was only a little more than 11 minutes, that challenge. I was like, okay, wow.
But everyone went over, and Marissa was the one who went closest. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, though. Like, if the competition was only 11 minutes, you can't, like, and fucking Mark put 2,000. Like, that's like, that's
yeah.
It's 3 times the amount.
I don't think they kept track of the time, though. Like the
but it's like a self-explanatory type of, you know what I mean? It's like a good estimate. Like, you can tell the difference between 10 minutes and 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Chris.
But I guess, but I also feel like if you're on there for a little bit longer,
Well, they weren't there any longer. They were only there for.
No. But I mean, like, I feel like if you're I feel like if you're actually in the moment, like your sense of time, you lose your sense of time when you're doing something that you maybe don't want to do. Like an endurance competition feels longer because you're.
Okay. Maybe that would be the case if it was like an hour and you guessed like an hour and a half, but 10 minutes feels like 10 minutes no matter.
But also clearly but also clearly none of them like knew the math that well, which I don't blame them for.
60 seconds in a minute. And just multiply by how many minutes you thought it was. That's pretty easy.
Right. I mean, Marissa thought it was only like 16 minutes, 17 minutes. So that wasn't that bad on her part.
Yeah.
It was only like 5 minutes off. All right. So Marissa wins the final HOH. And, I'm not 100% sure if she was going to take Ross or not at this moment. I mean, I was pretty sure she was, but I was also hoping for a nice reversal, which I thought would have been interesting. I'm sure you guys would have been entertained by that too.
Yeah, no, I thought Ross was like, at the time, I ththought Ross was like the worst person for her to take. I feel like she just should have took Mark because she would have beat Mark easily.
I'm not sure if she would have beat Mark easily.
That's what I was thinking, but clearly it didn't pan out that way regardless.
Yeah, I agree with Paul with the fact that I would have liked a nice good reversal, but then I'm just like, she's not going to do it. I know the type of person she is. She's just going to play with her heart and not her brain. And then I saw a couple of stuff on Twitter where it's actually kind of funny. Like, someone posted like a picture of like Derek and Cody. They're like, "Yep, like Marissa's being the Cody right now, like being loyal and not being smart." Well, clearly she was smart because she won.
Yeah, clearly she was smart. She won, and she made her ride or die 50K. So that's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she expected to win though.
She didn't. Absolutely not. She said throughout the whole entire season, Ross, this is your game to win. She was saying this on like week 2. Like even before Shannon left, like right after Chuck left, she was like, "Oh, Ross, it's you are made to win this game." I was like, "Okay, Marissa, whatever."
Yes, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
All right, so our final 2 is set in stone. Ari and Mark are evicted. They're honestly, those 2 are probably some of the most genuine, honest people in the game. Mark and Ari. They didn't have a bad thing to say about anyone when they left.
Yeah, no, Mark
Very
was
humble.
like, and plus also like I like the way they played too. Like they were just like Mark was like that really smart floater in my opinion, and then Ari was just smart in general and wasn't afraid to win competitions.
You're right, smart and honest.
You mean Marissa? Not Ari. Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about the final 2.
Yeah, we're talking about the 2 that were evicted.
Oh yeah. I thought Ari definitely would have won against anyone. That was my opinion about Ari. I thought she played a really good low key under the radar game, very sociable. And then I thought Mark had a good chance. I would have liked the Mark and Ari final too. I would have liked to see how that would have played out because
I think Ari would have won landslide.
Yeah, I think Ari would have won too, probably.
I just would have liked to see how it would have played out. But
Like, out of the four of them, I feel like Ari had the most locked in chance.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because Ari would have gotten Marissa and Ross's route for sure. Yeah, but would James and Shannon vote for Mark? Well, I'm thinking too much about this, but yeah,
I think James would have voted for Mark no matter what.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, Ari and Mark both very, very humble when they left. And we like to see that. I mean, we like drama, of course. But it's also nice to see a little humbleness every once in a while.
It's nice when and that's the thing I like about most of this cast. I honestly would argue the entire cast understood one thing. It's not a game and it's a game and none of this is personal. I mean, even James and Brandy seem to maybe get along.
Well, not really.
Maybe, I don't know.
I have a few words on that exchange when we get to it. All right. So anyway, all the jury comes back. They all walk in. They all hug it out or whatever. They explain how the voting works to them or whatever, specifying to Meta, yeah, this is how the votes work. You vote for who you want to win, and then they start asking the final two questions. I know they couldn't really plan for specific questions because they didn't know who the final two was going to be at the time because there was 4 people left. Actually, 5 people left at the time when they were making the questions. So they asked basically generic questions. Like, what did you guys think of Brandy, James, and Shannon's questions?
I agree. I think they were all generic until Rose asked her question.
I thought the questions were stupid, and I thought the answers were even worse. If you want my honest opinion, I just was not a fan of I expected hardcore questions, but since they're all kind of just like friends with each other, I was not happy about them.
Yeah, it's like they were all singing "Kumbaya" at the end. It was just like, okay. I mean, like, okay, I understand. Like, it's possible that 2 people you like are at the end, so you don't want to ask them. You can't ask anything too specific. Plus, I think they're all pre-planned out with CBS, so they don't ask like anything too out there. But yeah, I thought Ross's answer of pivoting. I thought that was a good answer because throughout the Big Brother game, you do have to pivot a lot. Marissa seemed to give a lot of credit to Ross for basically everything she's done in this game, which I thought was very bizarre, and how she won after those answers is a little beyond me. Also, James made the point while he was voting. He said, after hearing you guys talk, after hearing you guys answer your questions, I changed my vote. Boy, how?
I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked like if we find out like in a couple of days like he just put the wrong key in, like he pulled the meta.
Who pulled the meta?
I feel like James would have pulled the meta because it really made no sense.
James double checked.
What?
James double checked.
I know. That's why it's like it just doesn't make any sense to me why he would say that. Because I mean, if you like you said, all the questions, it's just Marissa saying Ross did all this. You know what I think? I think it also too. I don't know. I feel like James maybe felt betrayed a little bit because
there was a moment when they asked Ross which alliance were you most loyal to, and Ross said, "Yeah, I was loyal to basically." He said he was basically loyal to all of them. In more than a few words. So maybe James felt a little betrayed by that.
That's probably what it was.
I was surprised by James's vote. James's vote was the one that surprised me the most, honestly. I was like, whoa, like James voted for Marissa? This is so not what I expected. Agreed. And I think it was because he was on the block with Marissa, so Marissa didn't vote him out. So he probably figured like, all right, well, Ross said he was going to keep me and he didn't, so I guess he really wasn't true to his word.
Well, like we said, James said that his reasoning was because of the questions. So,
who knows? He's an actor.
He's a singer, and an actor, and a celebrity Big Brother star, and second or third of America's Favorite. A lot on his resume now. All right, so let's talk about their speeches. They were all right. The speeches were better than the questions. At least I thought. I don't remember too much that Marissa got wrong in her speech, so she did give a lot of credit to Ross again. Very appreciative of them making it to the end together. Ross had his speech planned out, obviously, so it was hard to mess that up. Anything that stood out with you in the final two speech?
No, just again the fact that she kept like giving credit to him. It was like she was like I feel like she was trying to throw the game to him.
Yeah. Just Sheldon in the chat says they wanted a woman to win. Omarosa did that. Julie had to tell them to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think after this speech, that's something we should get into is discussing the jury a little bit because that was a very different kind of jury situation altogether.
They just did not know what the fuck. They were the most dysfunctional jury I've ever seen in the history of Big Brother.
This is why you should probably sequester the jury, but I guess they couldn't really do that with the celebrity cast.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this jury. Where we thought the votes were going to land versus where they did land. Let's start with Chuck. Chuck, I kind of expected a Ross vote, but we got a Marissa vote. What are your thoughts?
I was expecting Ross.
I was expecting Ross too.
Chuck always struck me as like someone who respects like good game. So that's why I figured that because Marissa didn't really game. She just followed.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Keisha, I expected Marissa because she wanted a woman to win the entire time.
Yeah, Keisha, I was expecting Marissa, but yeah, mostly for the fact that she wanted a woman to win. But then Ross's whole "I helped you leave when you needed to" maybe like it kind of made me think he could have swayed her vote a little bit. Like it wouldn't have shocked me if she voted Ross because of that.
Maybe. I mean, he made the same point to Meta, but he was on the block at the time, so of course he had to take himself off. It was kind of a stupid point when he did. Yeah, he made the same point to Meta.
But it's also Meta.
Yeah, true. Shannon. I wasn't sure where Shannon was going to go because she had the closest relationship with Marissa, and so felt most betrayed by her. But also, she respects the game, so she could have respected Ross a little more for playing harder. I guess when it comes to a super fan, her being a super fan, I was surprised she voted Marissa.
I wasn't surprised she voted Marissa because whenever she left, the first two things she said she wasn't going to vote for Ross or Marissa. So this was her worst case scenario. So obviously the first thing I thought when Ross and Marissa would have found out too, I'm like, this sucks for Shannon. But the reason why I expected that she would vote for Marissa was because Ross was the one who had all the blood on his hands, and Shannon, in my opinion, was the most bitter juror.
Chris, thoughts?
I don't think Shannon was bitter. I think she honestly was probably in the same position as Keisha, where she was like, "Yeah, I want a girl to win." That's honestly what I think it was. I really thought it was just wanting a girl to win, and she probably figured that they both betrayed her, so she was like, "Okay, might as well just give it to a female."
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna stick by my she was bitter, but
all right,
could be a combination of both, honestly.
Let's go with Meta. Meta voted for Ross. I'm not 100% sure if he voted randomly or not. They didn't really show him like looking up in the air and picking. We know that he wanted Ross to win, so I'm sure he voted. That's why he voted Ross.
He's had a deal with Ross that he would vote for him for jury since day like the first week.
Yeah. So I guess that's not so surprising.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if he picked at random, but it fell with what he said he was going to do the entire time.
Who was next? Brandy?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes. Brandy, I'm a little shocked she voted Ross over Marissa. I felt like she was going to be another one of those women votes. But she also said while she was voting, I'm voting for the person who lied the best, basically, and that was Ross. So it made sense to me at the time.
Yeah, Brandy kind of likes like that kind of like she likes someone who could play things, and plus like having watched her on the live feeds a bit, and I just realized like I've come to love Brandy on the show. Like she was great to watch because she was willing to battle, but like everything that she said was always true. It wasn't like she was making up BS either. So I feel like she just respected the fact that Ross did lie, but that's how you play this game, and I feel like she respected that.
Chris?
Yeah, Brandy was kind of a little up in the air for me. I thought she was gonna vote for Marissa because of the girl thing, but she didn't. She voted for Ross, but I guess she kind of just respected Ross's game a little bit more than Marissa's.
Yeah,
Fair
I was surprised that Brandy did vote for Ross in the end because I feel like she was like more betrayed. But it's just funny because I feel like her and Shannon voted in reverse of what I would have expected them to vote.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And I feel like they voted for like that complete opposite reasons of each other. It was weird.
Okay,
when
let's
you
talk
compare those
about
two votes.
James. James says that he changed his vote, so I was like, okay, changed his vote. Well, I originally thought he would have voted Ross, so because he said he changed it, I was expecting Marissa, and that's what we got. We already talked about that. If you guys want to go into more detail, go ahead. Chris, any thoughts?
Nah, I was surprised that he voted for Marissa, but then I guess what you just said that he then switched his vote after what he heard. I guess it doesn't really surprise me too much now.
Yeah, I feel like James just took it as, oh, you weren't really on my team the entire time. Well, screw you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he kind of knew that though, like right when they backdoored Shannon. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he probably took it like he probably just took it as like a confirmation of, well, you know.
right. Omarosa, Marissa, 100%. Omarosa wanted a girl to win for the first thing. Also, she hated Ross.
Yeah.
I think she respects him as a person. I just think she hated him as a player.
Right. They were gunning for each other the entire game. So no shock there with Omarosa's vote. Ari. I was expecting Ross from Ari.
Mm-mm.
Surprised she voted Marissa, but I guess it was the girl thing again.
No, I think Omarosa convinced her. I think because like that's when like that's what Sheldon said, and that's what also we saw on the show was like Julie Chen saying, "Hey, you guys can't be like making like stop talking," basically.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened because at one point you could even hear whispers, and it was tweeted out. One of the whispers were, "But she has kids."
Right.
But then there was the argument that she had more money than Ross, so I was kind of just like, all right.
Yeah, like that's what they were talking over. I'm just like, can you guys just vote for who played better?
I know.
They don't care though. They're celebrities. They can vote however they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately they're not like normal people.
Right. I mean, although normal people haven't been that good at voting recently either, to be honest.
Or playing the game.
Well, that too. Then we have Mark, who voted for Ross, and I was expecting him to vote for Ross.
Yeah, there was no surprise there. I mean, they had the final two deal.
Yeah, and Ross would have taken him.
Even in his exit interview, like whenever they kept on saying like, "Oh, do you think Marissa made the right choice?" Mark was like, "Well, yeah, no, she made the wrong choice." Is what he kind of wanted to say, but you saw him like kind of like bite his tongue there, which kind of basically said, "I'm voting for Ross."
Right. All right. Let's get to some things that were revealed after the votes. They asked Shannon to say who she was most betrayed by. I think did she say who she felt most betrayed by?
I think she said it was just the two of them again. I don't think she really separated them.
Right. And then they both tried to explain themselves. They both apologized. Marissa's did seem more genuine than Ross's did. I will say that.
Yeah, because Marissa also knows her better, and it also just made sense where Marissa just straight up said like, "Hey, I can't beat you. You're too strong."
Then they had the James and Brandy thing, where they showed Brandy's goodbye message to James, which I thought was okay. Well, good for you. Like, when was that? Like the first week?
I don't know.
That was the only time James was on the block where he didn't go home.
It wasn't necessary to show, but like their relationship is just weird because it's like it's not like I don't think they hate each other. I just don't think they care for each other. You know what I mean? Like,
Chris, thoughts?
like I feel like there's a difference between that, but
I don't really know how to answer this. What was the question again?
James and Brandy's relationship.
Oh, I don't know. I guess they're okay. I don't know. I think it was a little acting, and I don't think they hate each other that much. If you want my honest opinion. I just think them living in the house was just annoying for both of them. But I think outside.
I also think they kind of have some fun with it.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think they both genuinely think that they think they're not good people, or like at least not the kind of people they would like to hang out with.
Yeah, definitely.
Living in the house definitely, put that up a little bit more. Even when James said, Brandy, I'm sure things are going to be okay with us outside the house, and Keisha was like, oh, that's a lie. And then James whispered to Keisha, we're on TV. So he's basically saying, yeah, I have to say that. I don't like Brandy, but I have to say that I do. And Brandy, even when he said that, said, no, I don't agree with you. And that's not how I feel. So I personally think they didn't like each other, and that's fine. In a Big Brother season, you're supposed to have cast members that don't like each other. So I'm glad there was at least some contention there, and there was contention between like Shannon and Ross and Marissa too. So there was a decent amount of tension and a decent amount of humbleness. So that was a great. It was fun in that way, and Omarosa and Ross too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but like again, Omarosa and Ross was like more like it was just a rivalry. It doesn't seem like I don't really think they actually dislike each other.
I mean, she did cost him the game, from what you're saying with the whispers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, still, it was still rivalry. I don't know, but with James and Brandy, they're like, I also got it from like the first like episode. It was obvious just because like James has like this more narcissistic attitude, and Brandy's more about calling everybody out on on like stuff on fakeness.
Patty says, what's up in the chat? Hey, Patty, how's everything going? Hope you enjoyed the finale. All right, so let's get to we learn who the winner is, and we already went through the votes. It was a 6-3 vote, and Marissa wins, which a lot of us were surprised about, but I guess I was less surprised than usual, only because every single vote, like the past few seasons, has been reversals. Like Big Brother 18, we all thought it was Paul, it was Davon. Big Brother Over the Top, we all thought it was going to be Jason, but it was Morgan. And Big Brother 19, we all thought it was going to be Paul, and then we were happy that it was Josh. So it's been like Big Brother has been twist endings for like the past few seasons, and this was just another example of a twist.
I'd also like to correct Paul with 18. It was like correct you with 18. You said it was Davon. It was Nicole.
Oh right. It was Nicole, and Davon was the vote. See, I still think about Davon because of the vote. It was all because Paul lied to her. Anyway, back to the game. So I guess it was not that big of a surprise to expect a twist, but Marissa was the one who won. Thoughts, guys?
I just didn't. I personally feel like Ross deserved it because he played the game better. I get the whole lying thing, but the main reason why Ross lost, which kind of got on my nerves a bit, was like again overhearing them like, "Oh, she has kids and this and that." I'm like, okay, I get that, but still, I'd rather see someone win for the game.
And they're not here for the game, though.
And then the other reason why I'm not like thrilled with it is the whole fact of like, hey, let's have someone win because they're female. I'm like, no.
Chris, thoughts?
But this is expected. What celebrities they don't care about who played the better strategic game because they're all are celebrities. They're known. They're gonna vote for whoever they personally like better than the other. Like maybe some will vote for gameplay, but I mean, they don't care. They can vote however they want, and whether we liked it or not, like that's just how it is, unfortunately. Normal seasons, like that's when we can start complaining about strategy, and because they're in the house for 90 days, of course they're gonna want to vote for someone who played a lot more strategic in 90 days than one in 27 days. So I mean, I wanted Marissa to win, honestly. I think her social game was pretty good. She didn't get into any fights with like almost anyone. And that is kind of how you play the game of Big Brother, is trying to be a pacifist and trying to avoid conflict, whether that's internal, external, whatever you want to call it. And I think I was surprised it was 6-3. I thought it would have been I thought it would have been another 5-4, and it would have been between Chuck and Chuck. I thought Chuck maybe would have voted for Ross, but he voted for Marissa. So
Patty in the chat says Ross should have kept Brandy. She was not well liked. Thoughts?
Yeah, that makes sense.
100%.
But she also voted for Ross.
But Ross keeping Brandy, it really wasn't Ross's decision because it was Mark's HOH. So
what does that mean?
Like, I mean, like, I feel like no, because they were trying to. I'm sorry, who was up against Brandy at the time?
Marissa.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I agree, there we go. I should have agreed. He should have kept Brandy, but there was no way he was going to split up from Marissa. And Brandy called him out on it earlier, saying that this is going to cost you 250.
Patty says the lesser of two evils. That's why Ross lost. He didn't own his game. He said he never lied or betrayed his alliance, which he did.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
that makes sense.
That's the exact same issue with Paul last season.
Yeah.
and Paul the season before.
Yeah, and Paul the season
Yeah.
before still doesn't, and he still didn't learn. Just Sheldon says Steve winning Big Brother 17 gave the house bad juju after voting out Vanessa. Maybe, I don't know. It's definitely been a curse since Big Brother 17. The best player has not won for 4 seasons, which is pretty interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Or does it mean the game has evolved and it's now no longer about playing the best game? Or is it about planting the jury properly? I mean, I feel like
Ross did not have good jury management. Like, I mean, he had a decent jury management, but not not that good. Not as bad as Paul.
We thought he had really good jury management because we all thought he was going to win.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, it turned out he didn't in the end.
Well, it's because people went home and watched. I think the most effective way for someone that played like a masterful game to win at the end without people being bitter is for someone in the jury who was betrayed by that person to step up and say, who's also well liked, to say, listen, we have to look past personal feelings and just look towards the game. I feel like that's the only way it happens. I mean, see this stuff.
That was Raven and Matt last season,
but they weren't well liked. I said they have to be well liked. Raven and Matt were not well liked,
and they were just kind of dumb.
You have to be respected in the house. It's like Nicole with Derek. She was well liked in the house, and she was batting for Derek in Big Brother 16. It has to be kind of like that.
Agreed. And Ross didn't really have anyone batting for him. The only person he would have probably had batting for him was Mark, but Mark never had any time to talk to anybody. I feel like Mark would have tried to bat for him.
So really, the jury, who you put on the jury is also important, and like your relationship with them.
I definitely think if the jury was sequestered, I think Ross might have actually won.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is why you want super fans in the jury. A lot of people say get the super fans out early. But well, I guess Shannon was an exception this time around. But she never acted like a super fan to me. Her actions in the house didn't really seem super fanish, even though she is.
No, she's an observational super fan. That's the best way I could describe her.
But super fans vote for the best player. So I think the theory should be that if you're a super fan, that if you're in a house full of super fans, you want them in jury. Because the super fans want to vote for the best player.
See, that's why Paul. Well, I think Paul's mistake last season was getting out Jessica before Cody, because Jessica was more of a super fan than Cody. And if he just went to Jessica, I know I keep bringing it back up. If he just went to Jessica and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to use the veto, just don't use the Halton Hex," Jessica would have been the jury, and Paul would have won.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. You have to be smart. Like that's the problem with these people is that. Some of them are very emotional. I get the whole living in the house thing is a little annoying after a while, but I mean, you're playing for $500,000, in this case, $250. I agree with you 100%, Paul, about having the super fans in the jury. I mean, that's why Steve won in season 17 over Liz, because Steve was a super fan, and there was a bunch of other super fans in the jury too.
Patty says Shannon was not that great. She let everyone know just how good of comps she was. #responsibilities. Yeah, exactly. Shannon was. Ross said that Shannon was the best player. She was not the best player.
No, she was the best at competitions. That's pretty much like true. I mean,
yeah,
the problem with Shannon was that she overplayed.
And overplaying is a rookie mistake.
Exactly, and like that's the thing is like I said, that's the best way I could describe Shannon. She's an observational super fan. She didn't play like a super fan, but she knows the game, she knows the show, but she just went at it too hard.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Like whereas Ross played at the right pace.
Right. Okay, so do you guys want Chris, any final words to add to that?
I did see a sneak peek of BB Can 6, like 4 people in the cast, and I'm a little weirded out by it because it's normal people. Like they just look
Woo!
normal. They're not actually getting these big diverse people. They actually look like normal, legit people.
Okay,
And I'm a little more excited about that.
Yeah, so we will be covering Big Brother Canada 6, or the few of us that are around will be covering Big Brother Canada 6. And we will be covering Survivor, Ghost Island next Wednesday premiere. The three of us will be there doing the episode, right? Right, guys? Right?
It's gonna depend on my school schedule. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Damn subs. Okay. Well, I will be doing the episode at the very least. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy our video, enjoy our content, we will be doing videos on Big Brother Canada 6 and Survivor. So we'll be doing a lot of videos in the upcoming few months. And of course, Big Brother 20 when it comes out in late June, I suspect. So look forward to that. If you support our content, check out our Patreon down below in the description box. Every little bit helps us to keep going. And we love our fans, of course. And if you donate $3 or more, we will shout out your name at the end of every single video that we make, which is a lot. We do a lot of videos a week. So I want to give a shout out to Patty. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, supporting our Patreon, and supporting Reality Room Podcast, both monetarily and through coming and watching our videos. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and throw us a subscribe down below. YouTube changed its policy recently, so now we need 1,000 subscribers in order to be monetized. So please help support us by clicking subscribe down below. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for watching.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in this season with us.
All right, guys. Until our Big Brother Canada 6 cast analysis and our Survivor Ghost Island premiere on Wednesday. Peace.